Nós estamos aqui com o Kim Ives e o Dan Coughlin. O Kim Ives, ele é editor do jornal Haiti Liberté, que é um jornal independente, que tem sede em Nova York, entre a comunidade de haitianos lá, e também em Porto Príncipe. E o Dan, ele trabalha junto com o jornal The Nation. Os dois foram responsáveis pelos documentos do Wikileaks no Haiti. Todas as revelações que saíram com relação ao Haiti passaram pela mão desses dois. One of the reasons that you're here in the museum, that you've been recently well known in the US, is because you received the WikiLeaks documents. Now, I wanted you to tell us a little bit about how was the process, how did you publish, and what were the stories?
Even though we have offices in Port-au-Prince in New York, WikiLeaks wanted to deliver the documents directly to us in Port-au-Prince. So we traveled from New York, and because the documents were in English, our New York office, as myself in particular, as the principal English editor, I traveled to Port-au-Prince, where we worked with our bureau chief there in receiving the documents.
Can you say some of the stories that came out?
Some of them. Well, the first we began one was with the Petro-Caribe story, which was a very outrageous campaign led by the U.S. Embassy on behalf of the two U.S. Oil giants, Texaco, Chevron, and ExxonMobil, to torpedo the granting to Haiti of a Petro-Caribe deal by Venezuela, whereby Haiti would receive all its energy needs, about 14,000 gallons a day, in petroleum from Venezuela, which they would only have to pay 60% up front, and the remaining 40% is paid over 25 years at 1% interest. This saves the country $100 million a year. Something which even the U.S. Embassy recognized was in Haiti's interest, and yet they worked hard to torpedo this deal and to make sure that it wouldn't happen.
Did they manage to stop the deal?
They did not. They managed to slow it, but eventually Haiti won, and to some extent we wanted to start with something which was upbeat, which showed a Haitian victory, not to show...
And it has to be said too, this is about providing electricity for Haitians to go to school, for hospitals to work, for municipal offices to function. When I lived there many years ago, you didn't have any electricity in Haiti, or it was limited for a few hours a day. When I went back, I was struck, well, Port-au-Prince now has electricity. And then you read in the WikiLeaks files why. Why they have electricity? Because the Venezuelans organized with the Haitian government to provide a flow of oil plus the technicians to run power plants to provide electricity.
Which the Venezuelans built.
And it makes you wonder, after 50 years of World Bank aid, of IMF, of French government assistance, USAID, the Canadians,
Inter-American
Development Bank, this huge system could not provide electricity to Haitians, and within 2 years, the Cubans and the Venezuelans get electricity to Haiti. It's incredible that this system goes on, and nobody writes about it, nobody talks about it. And there it is in WikiLeaks, and the Haitian government had to fight U.S. companies and the U.S. Embassy to get electricity so people could read, could go to work, the hospitals could function. This is what happens in Haiti. The block to development in Haiti comes from the United States and corporations.
But this is specifically about oil. Do you have there are the industries that block?
We did another piece on the sweatshops in Haiti, where T-shirts are made by Levi Strauss, Hanes, Fruit of the Loom, big companies where they manufacture there, who fought against a minimum wage increase for Haitians from $3 a day, to $5 a day. This is nothing. Haitians are the poorest paid in the hemisphere, and yet the U.S. Embassy and the Haitian sweatshop owners organized to block a minimum wage increase for Haitians to be able even just to eat and live.
From $3 to $5.
And well, no, yeah, it had actually been at $1.75, and they wanted to raise it to $5 a day. But the U.S. Embassy worked with the Haitian contractors to limit it to $3 a day. Even at $5 a day, Haitians still would have been the cheapest labor in the hemisphere. But they blocked it, at least for a year. They delayed it for a year. It is now at $5 a day.
It also has to be said that with the UN occupation of Haiti, Brazilian-led, Ecuador, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina.
Not Ecuador.
Excuse me, not Ecuador, but Chile, Argentinian troops, Uruguayan troops. The UN troops there suppressed the protests against a low minimum wage. They are there firing tear gas against the students and protesters who are fighting for a minimum wage increase. So these troops are not there for providing stability and security. They're there to do the bidding of the sweatshop owners and the American companies who want low-wage factories.
And one of the other things the troops are doing are ensuring elections, what they call elections, what the Haitians call selections. And what we saw in the WikiLeaks documents was precisely how these elections are pushed through despite the fact that they know that they are corrupted and of no value. For instance, in the elections of the past year, 2010, they knew that the Electoral Council had unjustly disqualified the largest political party in Haiti, the Lavalas family party of then exiled former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. The US sat down with the European Union and a number of other so-called friends of Haiti to discuss the matter. And they were aware, or I should say afraid, that the disqualification of the Lavalas family would somehow jeopardize those elections. But they decided, and that was in the documents, that they had too much invested and that they needed to go forward with it. Not just that.
Why do you call it an occupation? And is this the view of the general Haitian population?
As they say in Haitian Creole, constitutions are paper, bayonets are made of steel. So they know very well that might makes right. And so this is an occupation. And I just wanted to say, even if we were to accept that they were a quote-unquote peacekeeping force, which they haven't been, they've been a war-making force. But even if
peace enforcement.
Yeah, even if we were to say a peacekeeping force is supposed to be neutral. They have not been neutral. They have taken the side of the coup makers. They have been fighting against the Lavalas. So even if we were to accept the premise that they were keeping the peace between the Lavalas, the people, and the bourgeoisie, the people who made the coup, they would treat them with equanimity. But they don't. They take the side of the coup makers. They sit with the assembly industry owners, with the bourgeoisie, and scheme against the people. This is made clear by the WikiLeaks documents, and this is among the things that we point out in our series.
But this has been made clear by the WikiLeaks documents in which way?
The one clear example is the way that the UN in Haiti worked with the United States to prevent Aristide from returning. So they were scheming, according to the WikiLeaks cables, that Aristide would have to take a plane from South Africa through Europe to get back to Haiti. They would work with the various countries like Germany and wherever the plane would land to block the plane from landing.
The UN was doing this.
The UN was doing this. The head of the UN in Haiti, Edmond Moulet, who now is also a senior peacekeeping official in New York, was scheming with the United States, was asking the United States to concoct a prosecution of Aristide to prevent to charge him with corruption or something, just anything, to stop him from being so popular with Haitians.
So he could not get traction, were his very words, so he could not get traction with the Haitian people.
Os documentos do Wikileaks mostraram também a pressão que os americanos estavam fazendo para que o comandante das tropas, o general Augusto Heleno, tivesse uma ação mais agressiva, mais violenta dentro das favelas do Haiti. So, when I was in Haiti to meet you guys, I was a little bit surprised by the fact that Brazil or Brazilians or the Brazilian military are not that well seen. As we see the reports in here all the time that they're doing a great job there. But when you're there, you see, like, when you're in public and you start talking about the military, the UN, people react violently. They say we are fed up, like spontaneously, and you see on walls, you see like Aba Minusta, get out of here kind of thing. There is a feeling that the UN has been there for too long. Why?
Okay, in the beginning, I think Haitians had gone through 3 years of destabilization, and there was, I could say, almost a cynicism towards the UN. They called them turistas. They were seen as tourists because they spent a lot of the time going in their vehicles around, polluting, leaving open cesspools, and they were seen as, at the beach and that kind of thing. So they were calling them turistas. This was around Haiti. But gradually, with time, they have carried out massacres in Cité Soleil, in Bel Air. We're talking about hundreds of people who have died under UN bullets or been wounded. So increasingly, the cynicism, and I could say almost disregard for the UN has become a hostility, has become a hatred of the UN, because they are seen as a force which is killing, polluting, and also taking money, because here are people who are starving, who don't have money to eat. They've had an earthquake which has destroyed their capital, and yet we see $854 million a year on average going to pay these 12,000 now troops, 13,000 almost, to do this job in Haiti. So the people are saying, why? Why are we being repressed like this and polluted like this? And the question of cholera has now really been, I won't call it a straw that broke the camel's back, but really the log that broke the camel's back.
What happened with the cholera?
Well, essentially Nepalese troops, Nepalese contingent, came back last October from Nepal, where cholera is endemic, and they had very sloppy and negligent sanitation practices, where essentially their sewage was being dumped into the headwaters of the Artibonite River, the principal river in Haiti.
Without any treatment? Without
any treatment. And this river, people drink from it, people wash in it, people use it for everything, and the cholera began to spread in that area, and the UN minimized the problem. The Haitian government at the time minimized the problem, and it spread like wildfire. There is a suit that has been brought by the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti against the UN for reparations to Haiti for having unleashed this cholera epidemic, which is now, at this point, claimed 6,600 lives and sickened 500,000 people.
But again, you see this in the WikiLeaks cables where they're writing that the sanitary practices of the UN troops are poor. And it goes to the mentality that they don't care about Haiti. They come in they establish 26 bases.
So this is a base that was established just
all across the country. They put in these military and police bases all across the country. This is part of their occupation. And yet, when they set up, they don't think about the local people. about the community, about being good neighbors, about not putting your waste, your sewage, into the river, but it goes to the point of negligence, and really a criminal negligence on the part of the UN that has now created an epidemic that has infected nearly 500,000 people, 5% of the entire population of the country, and killed 6,600 people, and it continues. The other part of the negligence is you have to move aggressively to contain the problem, and they have not.
When the news started to spread that there was a cholera epidemic, I myself interviewed the ambassador of Brazil in Haiti, and he said that it has nothing to do with the UN troops. This has been denied over and over again. I want to know, when was this found? What's the proof that it came from?
There have been many studies. The first one that really determined that it was responsible for the UN troops, and it has to be said that the Haitian people knew from the start that it came from that Nepalese base up at the headwaters of the Artibonite River up near Mirabade.
Because you were talking to the people.
Yes, and they knew it very well, and you know, all the circumstantial evidence pointed to that. But a medical team from France came in and looked at the microbes of because cholera is a bacterial disease spread just through sanitation. It's not viral, it's bacterial. And they examined that bacteria and compared it to the one in Nepal, and they found an exact match. And then this same process was done by a UN team, and they also found an exact match. This was done within the last year. The UN team, I think, was about 3 to 4 months ago. They finally came out. Interestingly, in the UN report, while they said there was an exact match, and it was very likely, but they didn't actually say that it was the UN. But it's quite established in the scientific communities like Glokin. So the people are fed up. They want the minister out. I could say one more straw that came was this video of a rape of a young man, or what appears to be, if it's not a rape, it's at least sexual harassment of some sort. His family and he claim that's the case. The community there feels it's the case.
Now in that video, which is one of the big things that came up lately, there's 3 Uruguayan soldiers holding holding a black man down, and one of them actually takes like his penis out and
well, you don't actually see that. You see he has no shirt on.
No, you see him taking the thing out. Anyway, he gets close to he gets close to the man, and then we don't really see if there is a rape or not, and then he's released. But one of the things that for the 4 soldiers, this was inside the military facility, right?
Yes.
What's the kind of atmosphere that allows that to happen, even if it wasn't a rape, but that allows that to happen within a UN?
The atmosphere is that the UN soldiers do not see Haitians as humans. It is a complete objectification of the enemy. They are the other. They are subhuman. They are toys. They are animals. So basically they function in the country with impunity. They undermine the justice system.
So when there are stories like the story of the Uruguayan or other stories, we've seen, how many were there? Were there 150 soldiers from the Sri Lankan, was it?
Yes, 171 total were sent back home.
Who had to be sent back home because they were sexually exploiting, I mean, and that's like, it's not really prostitution, they're trading money for mobile phones or food, or like electricity, like in a country of poverty. These people cannot get prosecuted in Haiti, right?
Correct.
That's right.
They get immunity, and whatever happens to them, Haiti has no control at all.
Right.
I think to end, I want to ask you about how was the repercussion of the revelations of the WikiLeaks cables, which you managed, and Kim, I heard you cannot go safely back to Haiti now.
Well, it would be a question. I think I would let Dan respond since he wrote the article about the repercussions of it.
Yes, well, some of the articles, you know, we were just carrying the message, but sometimes if you don't like the message, you shoot the messenger.
Yes.
So unfortunately, Haiti Liberté has received threats for writing, reproducing what the U.S. ambassadors were writing about Haiti and about different Haitian politicians. But these Haitian politicians obviously don't like the message, and they're gangsters, they're killers, and so therefore they're targeting the messenger. And so it hasn't been safe to go back to Haiti.
Just to close the conversation, I think I would want to ask you, so you've had a good impact, you've been seen in the US, the stories went out, the stories went to the nation, but at the end you're threatened, you can't go back. I wanted you to talk a little bit about the role of being an independent media and does it make a difference in a country like Haiti? Has it made a difference? Was it good that you had to go?
Absolutely.
But you say it has an impact.
Oh, more than an impact. I would say the media war in the war that our mankind is fighting for its liberation. The media war is, I could say, the first and most important, because most people are not neutralized by a billy club or a gun. They're neutralized through mind control, through informational control. That is, people believe what they're told, what they're fed, what's injected into their brain. And so the media, the war of information, of ideology, of letting people know what the truth is, what is happening, what really is going on, not the official line, that is the most important. And so it is very gratifying, and it's important that especially young people coming out, becoming involved in journalism, in information, realize that they play a critical role in bringing out the truth and pulling back the curtain on the scheming and conspiracies and cabals and misdeeds that are happening at high places.